Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 5, entitled as Karma Sannyasa Yogam. Sloka 6. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirayena gacchati. In Sloka 1, Arjuna asked his question, what is best for him between karma and jnana yogas? In second sloka, Krishna said, both are good, but karma yoga is better for you. And in the third sloka, among these two, karma yoga is greater. That is explained by Krishna as continuation. And in sloka 4, those who doesn't understand that both karma yoga and jnana yoga leads to the same result are considered to be balakaha, ignorant people, na panditaha. In sloka 5, those who understand that both karma yoga and jnana yoga that leads to the same result are panditaha, or learned people, considered to be learned people. Now in the sixth sloka, the question is, if the result is going to be the same by taking either karma yoga or jnana yoga, then why and in what way karma yoga is greater than jnana yoga? Say, I'm going to get a salary, base salary, same base salary, either by going to University K and get graduated, or going to University J and get graduated. How does it matter? Or in what way University K is superior than University J? That's a question. So the first two lines speaks how jnana yoga is difficult. And then the last two lines of the sloka explains how karma yoga is easy, simple and easy. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachiranadi gacchati. Mahabaho, O mighty armed one. Sannyasastu, but jnana yoga, ayogataha, without karma yoga, aptum dukkham, afflicts one with distress, very difficult to attain. Yoga yuktaha, one who is engaged only in karma yoga. Munihi, a thinker or meditating on the self, that person is called Munihi. Brahma, the supreme or the self. Nachirena, without delay. Adigacchati, attains or sees. So merely the meaning of this sloka is merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaged in karma yoga, one cannot be happy. But a person who is thoughtful, engaged in karma yoga, can achieve the Brahman without delay. So without practicing karma yoga, it is very difficult to attain sannyas, to get into sannyas. The karma yogi, while engaged in actions, keeps meditating on the self, Atma. Thus, completing karma yoga with ease, he attains the result more quickly. As Jnana Yoga can be completed only with great difficulty, and also the fruit, meaning the result, can also be attained only with delay. For one to enter into Jnana Yoga, one must have cleared some karmas. Karmas meaning previous karma, not the action, the papa and punya karma. And for one to clear those karmas, one must have followed karma yoga strictly. Only those persons who are in a position to contemplate on the self, Atma alone, focusing the mind steadfast due to the merit earned over past birth, are eligible for Jnana Yoga. Otherwise, they are not eligible to practice Jnana Yoga. One of the requirements of Jnana Yoga is to give up Karma Yoga. Not that one can be a Jnana Yogi and does Karma Yoga. That's not the way it works. But if one takes up Jnana Yoga without going through Karma Yoga to purify oneself as a prerequisite, which is the Karma Yoga as a prerequisite for purifying oneself, and by practicing Karma Yoga, not only purification happens, it also removes some of the karmas. Then it will help a person to enter into Jnana Yoga. If a person takes up Jnana Yoga without going through the Karma Yoga, it puts him into distress state, because the previous karmas are still there and he has not purified his consciousness. Therefore, he will be troubled through the vasanas, the three modes, and the previous karmas. And eventually, due to this, he will fall down from his position as a Jnana Yogi. Whereas, when it comes to Karma Yoga, it is nowhere said that one should give up Jnana to perform Karma Yoga. Unlike in Jnana Yoga, it is clear that one should give up Karma Yoga in the process of Jnana Yoga. But in Karma Yoga, one should not give up the Jnana. It is called Karma Yoga only when the Jnana is present in the practice. Otherwise, it is just called Kevala Karma, or just Karma, just action. It is not called as Karma Yoga. Therefore, one who practices Karma Yoga does not have to go through this problem of what the Jnana Yogi will face. Because he, the Karma Yogi, does action with a proper knowledge and consciousness of Atma. As this thought, this knowledge grows further and further, he doesn't see the action at all. Rather, he sees the Jnana, that is the Atma. And this we have seen in previous chapters. Now the question is, how that is Karma Yogi can do this? They can do this as a worship or as a devotional service to the Lord. When the Lord is pleased by the aradhana, by the worship, will help one to progress in this path by removing the obstacles which are in the form of punya and papa. When these punya papa karmas are removed, their impact on the senses are stopped. When the senses are not impacted, then the mind comes under the control. When the mind comes under the control, then one will be able to focus on Atma, inside, not outside. But this all happens only when the action, the karma, is done with proper jnana, knowledge. If one just does kevala karma, that is just the action, without proper knowledge or consciousness about the Atma, then that will not burn the karmas. Because this one we have already seen in the 4th chapter, 37th sloka. Jnana Agni Sarva Karmani. The knowledge is considered as a fire which burns all the karmas. Not the karma burns the papa punya karmas. It is the knowledge, jnana, burns the karmas. So, one does karma yoga with proper jnana. The jnana is that understanding. It's by the grace of God, Krishna, that the karmas are burnt when one understands that they are Atma. So another question might arise, if this requires the grace of God, then why do we need to have jnana in between? Why can't the grace of God directly burn the karmas? The answer is, the jnana is nothing but understanding that I am Atma and I am doing this for the pleasure of Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. And the Lord who is pleased will burn my karmas. If one doesn't have this understanding and just does karma, then there will be no result out of it. Therefore, it is important one understands about their self, and understanding self and performing an action. By this, the Lord who is pleased will help to remove these karmas. Therefore, jnana yoga leads to dukkham and karma yoga leads to sukham. And not only that, karma yoga gives quick result. Brahmana Chiranadi Gacchati. One attains the Brahman. The Brahman here could be one's Atma itself, meaning one prefer to enjoy one's own Atma Anubhava, or one can attain the Supreme Lord by further practices. So to summarize, both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga yield the same result. Of these, Karma Yoga is easy to practice and Jnana Yoga is difficult. Karma Yoga yields the result in a shorter time frame. Jnana Yoga will delay its result. Only those persons who are in a position to contemplate on the self alone, whose minds are fixed and whose karmas are removed, are eligible for entering into Jnana Yoga. And without having this eligibility, if someone starts practicing Jnana Yoga, it's going to bring distress, dukkham, because the senses, the vasanas, are not going to stop their attractions and pullings to the external objects. And obviously the mind is not going to be under the control. And that leads the Jnana Yogi a painful situation, mentally painful situation. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogatah yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena digacchati. Namaste. Hare Krishna.